Hi everybody, my name is Mary Kate Westling and I am the Artistic Director for Crosse Community Theatre. Thank you for joining us for today's session of Behind the Curtain, where we're going to discuss our current musical of Gypsy. Before Gypsy was one of the greatest musicals ever written, it was a true story, one that was based on ambition, talent, and how to move forward when everything around you changes, and not always for the better. There is the performer Louise, who is actually Louise Kovic, that's her real name. She and her family traveled on the vaudeville circuit. Her mother was exactly as she's pictured in the musical, if not a little bit worse. Her sister June was an incredibly talented child actor who headlined on different circuits for the vaudeville scene. But she did run away as a teen, leaving only Louise to perform as a vaudeville actor in her mother's wishes. To understand Gypsy, you have to understand vaudeville. Vaudeville as a performance type was popular around the late 1800s to the 1920s, and it was a variety show. Essentially, any person who had a craft that they had developed over years of practice or a special talent that no one had ever seen would be able to come and perform within a vaudeville show. It was a show that included music and dancing, but didn't have a through line of a movie plot or a musical storyline per se. It was the entertainment of the time, and anyone who could be on the vaudeville circuit made a great living. But vaudeville itself required a lot of traveling, and you had to go where the audiences were, which required back and forth between the coasts of the country and to any big city that would take you. Vaudeville itself, unfortunately, started to decline as soon as talkies came out. The term talkie is, of course, movies. Movies ended up giving audiences access to some sort of entertainment that they didn't have to go to a theater for, and the tickets were typically cheaper because you're not paying for live actors, you're paying for a screen and the video that they're shooting. So vaudeville unfortunately began a decline, and the art form itself had to adapt. As soon as vaudeville began the decline, it turned into burlesque, which is also featured in Gypsy the Musical. Burlesque is similar to vaudeville in that all the performers had to have a gimmick of sorts in order to attract audiences. But of course, the gimmick in burlesque is often accompanied with the removal of clothing. And that is what Gypsy Rose Lee decided to do. There was nothing else for her in vaudeville, so she had to transfer to burlesque itself. Gypsy the Musical came together to tell the story of a real-life performer, and it premiered on Broadway in 1959, and it changed the concept of musical theater as we knew it then. We had an amazing story that didn't necessarily leave audiences hoping for the main character of Mama Rose. It leaves audiences thinking about the storyline, thinking about what exactly occurs, and really pondering what it means to be a parent who's pushing for their child to have a better life and what stakes they would go to achieve that goal. It's also one of the first musicals where Stephen Sondheim, a famed musical writer and composer, made it on the big stage and in Broadway. It was his first foray to show us the genius that he truly was, and it's well shown throughout the music of Gypsy. We at LCT are so excited to have Gypsy on our stage right now because the storyline is still relevant today. It speaks to our ambition, not only as performers, but as human beings, and how hard we strive to achieve what our goals are. But it also poses the question of how far are you willing to go, and what really is your dream? And what is the dream that either your family or society has put upon you? Oftentimes, those dreams don't intersect. They have to change and grow. And that's the beautiful part of Gypsy, is that we see the change and growth in Gypsy Rose Lee becoming who she wanted to be. And that's what we at LCT support and always will, that people can change and grow into who they are exactly meant to be. Gypsy itself is a story that is over 65 years old, and we at LCT produced it last in the 1970s. We're so excited to have it back on our stage, and we hope that you come to support us as we revamp a musical that has been around for almost 70 years. Remember, as you watch Gypsy at Crosse Community Theatre, you're not just seeing an incredible musical with amazing sets, costumes, lights, and sound. You're also seeing a true story that is put forth in a way that makes you think, makes you tap your foot along, and makes you think of all the songs that you know from its famous history. We really hope you enjoy us here for our last weekend of Gypsy, a musical fable. I'm Mary Kate Westling. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you next time on Behind the Curtain.